Good morning, everybody. I'm Gabe O'Neill, founder of Digital Accelerant and Accelerant Referrals. Today, I want to talk about sharing things in social media, and we're going to use Twitter as an example. We're going to talk about really the ROI of social media and Twitter, and why it's really a powerful platform to use, and not just window dressing. So, hold on. So again, a little bit about me. I'm a founder of Digital Accelerant and Accelerant Referrals. I've also founded 2 nonprofits. But basically, I'm in the business of growing other people's businesses through website development, social media, digital marketing, and referral marketing. And I seek clients who are as invested in their own businesses as I am. Why I'm qualified to talk about Twitter. I've been on and off the top 100 Twitter users list in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't really pay much attention to it, to be honest, but it's just something that I kind of tripped over and found myself on. We have developed over 120,000 Twitter followers over the years in 2008, and this is from Kids Are Heroes. This is an organization that my daughter and I started in 2008 that empowers young children to become social activists. So I have been effectively using it as a tool for a number of years to take something from nothing and grow it into a global entity. So why Twitter? Now, there's obviously other platforms out there, but I really honestly believe that Twitter is the strongest. We use YouTube, we use Google+, we use LinkedIn, and Instagram, and many others, Facebook, of course. But I found that Twitter is the most open, and Twitter is the one that really allows the most connections, and getting a connection to a new person a lot easier than most. For instance, if you try and friend somebody on Facebook that you don't know, they'll block you and they might report you and you get slapped on the wrist for it. And to me, that's the silliest thing that I've ever heard, because the idea of social networking is to get to know new people and to build new relationships. Even LinkedIn, I've been using LinkedIn a lot more recently, and yes, you want to get it. Oh, I have to get a connection to introduce me to so and so. And the other thing is, well, how do I know it? How do I know that I really want an introduction to this person? What kind of person are they? Where in Twitter, you can pretty much find out without right away, without much difficulty. So I really think it's the most open platform, and I think it's and that's why I've had so much success with it. So why not Twitter? There's a lot of reasons why people don't use it, and I've talked to people about it, and I say, what is it with Twitter? Why don't you like it? The first thing they say, well, it's stupid. They say, all I see are tweets like this, where I just ate a Snickers bar with a fork. And quite honestly, that's one of the first tweets I saw in 2008, and I agreed. I thought, well, this is kind of a silly platform, but once I force-fed it to myself, and once I really understood it, and once I started to see the value, I started to see fewer and fewer of these type of tweets, because I don't follow people like this, and I saw things that are much more valuable, real interaction, and sharing things that are really important. So what's another reason? Well, I can't keep up with all the tweets. I'm following these people and it's going by so fast I can't keep up with it. You're not supposed to. You don't really have to keep up with all that stuff. I'm following over 90,000 people or whatever. There's no way I'd be able to keep up with the tweets, but I'm interacting with people, and I'm making sure that anybody who tweets to me or mentions me, that I'm going to see that particular tweet. That's the thing that you need to keep up with. So it really has nothing to do with keeping up with everything. I don't have time for it. I don't really have time for that sort of thing. Well, that's funny. I hear this all the time, where people don't have time for Twitter, but they have time. I even heard somebody say, when we were having this discussion, he said, well, I don't do anything that makes me less than $500 an hour. So why would I bother with Twitter? And it's funny, that same person is in a networking group, in multiple networking groups, where I'm sure he's not getting paid at all. So there's value in that, but and there is the same value with Twitter, because that's what it is. It's a networking platform where you're going to meet people. If you do it right, you're going to meet people that you would never have a chance to meet before. And what's that going to turn into? That's going to turn into referrals, and it's going to turn into business eventually. Okay. So where's the ROI? Show me the money. And this is a question that everybody asks. Well, what's the show me what the ROI is for social media? What can you guarantee? Well, you can't really guarantee anything, because there's a lot of social media that's done these days that I feel is done wrong, where they're hiring people to tweet for them. They say, well, I don't have time, so I've got my person doing it, a college kid or intern, or they're doing all the tweeting for me. Well, that's like sending an intern to all your networking meetings, or as a sub. And how much business do you get from a sub? You really don't. But if it's you that's connecting, you're going to get ROI. And just to go by what we have gotten over the years through Kids Are Heroes, through Twitter, my daughter has appeared on the Ricky Lake Show. Now, if you think about a nonprofit trying to get exposure, where are they all going to go? Oh, you should be on Ellen, you should be on Oprah, you should be on Ricky Lake, whatever. That is an incredibly difficult thing to do. We tweeted their producers for a year, and we were from Maryland, and they had plenty of people to take from California. So they don't need to get people from Maryland, but they flew us all the way out there to be on the show, and that was directly through Twitter. We spoke in front of 500 entrepreneurs. That was in Richmond, Virginia, at the Disruptive Thinking Conference. That started from a tweet that somebody said, oh, there's this event in Richmond that you might want to be involved with. And so, again, that was an opportunity that we would never have gotten. We've had several NFL players attending our events, and that's thanks to Mary, who connects NFL people with opportunities. She saw us, and she saw our numbers, and she said, well, this might be good for them. And it was great. The kids absolutely loved it, as did the adults. We were able to meet Sir Richard Branson. And again, if you're a nonprofit, I think your ultimate goal is to meet a billionaire who's a philanthropist. That was an amazing opportunity. Similar thing with Marcus Simonis from CNBC's The Prophet. But more importantly, we met Ivan and Beth Meisner. This was indirectly through Twitter. We were at an event, and that gave us the ability to meet Beth. Excuse me, Beth Meisner. Ivan and Beth Ivan's the founder of BNI. It's the largest networking group in the world, and they were so impressed with what we were doing. They donated $20,000 to us. So, as you know, that would be very important to a nonprofit. Excuse me. And of course, we built, and it's primarily from Twitter. I did use Facebook, YouTube, and all that, but we spent most of our time on Twitter building it up. And we built a social enterprise from nothing to where we're featuring more than 500 children from 19 countries who are all making the world a better place. And it was an incredible experience for my daughter and myself. But this is something that was done without Twitter. We never would have gotten anywhere near where we got. So people say to me, when I tell them that story, they say, "Oh yeah, but you're a kid. That's for kids. Everybody's gonna love kids. Who doesn't love kids?" So that's different than me. But really, what it comes down to is nonprofits are just as competitive as businesses are. And we had a plan when we got onto social media what we wanted to do. And if you're a business and you have a plan, then you can do just as much if you share things, and if you connect with people. It's about actually connecting with them. So there's something called social media that people talk about, but I actually like to call it virtual networking. And there's a huge disconnect between the two. Social media is where I took my picture in front of the White House and shared it on Facebook. That's social media. That's what a lot of people are doing. But virtual networking is something very different. Is where we're doing this, we're connecting with other people other people that we don't know, and then we are establishing a relationship with them. And it's not only through Twitter that you can do this. You can do this in any social media platform. But with Twitter being so open, it's a lot easier to meet new people and connect with them. And if used right, that's where the ROI comes. Because for those of us who know how valuable networking is, we get referrals from that. Well, you can build a referral network through Twitter very similarly. So how do we all get more business? I mean, right, with Accelerant Referrals, it's right in the name. We're about getting referrals. We're about connecting with people, helping others, empowering others to do more business. That's a big part of what we do. And it's the same thing on Twitter. If I can help somebody, if I can connect somebody on Twitter, I will do it in a heartbeat, or LinkedIn, whatever. I'm very, very anxious to do that, because I think it's, you know, as Ivan Meisner says, givers gain. And so referrals are very important, and you can get them just as easily on Twitter as you can in person, in real life. And again, it's all about building relationships. It's just that's all it is. It's virtual networking is all about building relationships with new people. So 3 things I want to leave you with on how to act, quote unquote, act on any social media platform. The number one thing is be authentic. You really don't want to try and put on airs or try and make it look like you're this, that, or the other thing. You just want to be yourself, and you want to show yourself. Like on Twitter, I tell people how your avatar should be your face, not your logo. People don't want to do business with a business. They don't want to talk to a business. They want to talk to you, and they want to talk to the real you. So if you be authentic, because you'll get found out if you're not, and you'll get rewarded if you are. Supporting others, it's like anything else. If I can connect other people and they get value from it, that's what Accelerant Referrals is all about. It's about empowering others to get more business. It's not going to work for me unless it works for other people. So I'm focused on actually making it work for others before I'm focused on getting it to work for me. If you can think that way, then you'll really, and start supporting others, then you'll be known as a connector, and people will gravitate right towards you. And again, the third thing is not about the numbers. It's not about how many followers. You want to connect with those people. You want to absolutely connect with them. It's not about just spewing out what your sale, if a sale you have, or a special you're doing, or whatever. You really want to connect with people. So, having said that, I'm going to go and that's kind of my presentation. Any questions?
Yeah, did you have a certain amount of, did you have a certain goal that you set for yourself as you sort of, it appears to me that you had a very directed, clear mission on using Twitter to build Kids Are Heroes. Did you have a specific number of tweets that you tried to target putting out there on a daily basis?
No, I don't think it's like that at all. There's no real formula. It's about, first of all, you do it when you do have time. Sometimes it is difficult to manage both, but you do it when you do have time. I do get a message on I do have it on my phone, so that if the most important thing is if somebody mentions you want to know about it and try and get back to them as soon as possible. But when I have some time to spend, you know, whether lunchtime, whatever, that's when I will go and see who's on there and see who I can engage. And, you know, just when I have any downtime, and you can use something like TweetDeck, which if you're working at your computer anyway, it will beep at you if you get a mention. So you can keep it in the background and just kind of use it that way. But no, I don't schedule tweets, and I really don't recommend that, because people know that people can tell that you do it. I tell them not to tweet from other platforms. Don't say, oh, put it on my LinkedIn and send out to everybody. Don't do that either. It's all about being real and really connecting with people, and you just do it when you have time.
Okay, Gabe, I have a quick question for you. Funnily enough, I just started my Twitter account this weekend.
Okay.
I loved your presentation and I loved your slides, and I'm exactly that. Okay, I've got Twitter, what now? So
Okay.
for someone like me, like your service, I'm trying to match what you do with someone like me who just got it and like, okay, so I've got Twitter, what now? What would be the first step? Like, do you have, like, is it an hourly consulting fee, or like to sit down with someone and say, okay, now you've got it, let's just take you through how we're going to use this, like some kind of idea of, moving forward?
Well, I do have, I do a class. It's not something I focus on, but I do a class for people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty intense, and it goes from soup to nuts on it. But I would say, I would also say to you that, that I would recommend sharing this content. I mean, that's what this is all about. That's what this platform is all about. So we have YouTube. You'll have links to YouTube. I write posts on LinkedIn, and I share them on Twitter, and I share them on other places. So as you said it to me before. You said, well, I really didn't know I was going to start a Facebook, but I didn't have any content. Now I have content, and again, now you do. So I would start with that.
Okay. All right. May I be excused to get my daughter to school?
Absolutely.
Sorry. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Gabe, this is Ted. A couple questions. I don't want to ask the same question that Chance asked, but I think it might be a little bit different. Is there a point where too much is too much? So as far as putting X number of tweets out per day, per week, I mean, when does it become static? I don't know if there's a best practices for that.
Well, I mean, if you're just putting out stuff that's about all about you, then yeah, you really want to do that very little. I mean, I say promote yourself 20% of the time, and promote other people, or at least put out interesting articles that you're interested in. But if it's all about you, one tweet a day, if it's all about you, that's too much. Okay, because you really want to see people. You really want to see a mixture of you connecting with people. Because if people look at your timeline and see all this guy is doing is promoting himself, then they won't follow you. There's no reason to. It's kind of common sense. It's really not rocket science. It's kind of common sense. And how would you behave in a networking environment? Would you walk up to somebody and say, hey, I'm a sales trainer. Here's my class I got coming up next week. You want to go to it? You wouldn't say that, right? So you would, you try and break the ice with somebody. You try and find somebody who you think you might have something in common with, and ask them about their business. Say, oh, that looks really cool. How did you do that? Or whatever. Or just retweet what they're doing. And being generous with them. That'll get the conversation started.
Thanks. The other question I had, and you mentioned something about LinkedIn. There's a lot of social media platforms out there. So how do you best use available? I'm talking about Twitter along with Facebook and Instagram, and how do you best use it? I don't know if there's a right combination, but I think I heard you say don't mix Twitter with LinkedIn.
Well,
I'm not sure I caught it.
It's not that. Well, what a lot of people do is they will find one platform or find a product like Hootsuite, where they will put out a post and they'll send it to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of them. And that really annoys me because when I see that, I know that they're not on Twitter, so there's no point in responding to them. They're just broadcasting. They're just saying, this is me. And that's really not what you want to do. So if I'm going to do something like that, I'm going to do it on Twitter, and then I'm going to go to Facebook and write a similar tweet or whatever, similar post. But I want people to know that, hey, if you respond to this, I'm here, and I'm going to respond back to you. That there are some people who they have their Twitter set up that's all they ever do. And so you know that this person is totally checked out, so there's absolutely no reason to follow them. Okay. Okay, so we're right at 9, so we're going to stop. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you listening to me.